House of Assembly has lauded the management team of the State Ministry of Forestry led by Engineer Taiwo Oludoton for achieving over 85% in its revenue performance in the outgoing year, while charging it to surpass the achievement in the next fiscal year to boost the state economy through innovative and proactive revenue-generating initiatives. The members of the House Committee led by Honorable Mushefiu Lamidi gave the commendation while taking on the ministry during the ongoing 2026 budget defense at the Assembly Complex, Okimoso, Abeokuta. The lawmakers also applauded the ministry for reviving the moribund forest reserves at Oja-Odon through public-private partnerships with focus on sustainable tree utilization and reforestation. Kola Oliosho was there. His report is presented in this package.
Agriculture remains a critical pillar of Nigeria's economy with enormous potential for job creation, food security, industrial growth, and wealth generation. This can only be realized when land, which is the primary resource of agricultural production, is managed efficiently. It was against this background information that the Ogun State House of Assembly came out with a bill to establish the State Agricultural Land Management Agency law, which brought about the gathering of all stakeholders in the sector. The stakeholders, including the representatives of the Committee for Defense of Human Rights, Comrade Yinka Folari, that of the State Ministry of Justice, Barrister James Mafe, Justice, Development and Peace Movement, represented by Mr. Rotimi Niyi, and the Ministry of Agriculture, represented by Mr. Okonlawon Fashola, highlighted the relevance of the bill in regulating agricultural land allocation and curbing conversion of designated farmland to housing developments.
So we feel that we should know who will be responsible for what. So if any approval is coming, they should subject it to the governor.
So what we want to say, there must be a punishment for anybody that runs power of the bill.
The section that's been missing out is of the bill, which is the functions of the agency. It's very important that we put those functions there because it is the function that will give the agency the power to work.
So let's see the allocation of anything less than maybe 20-50 as authorization from the governor.
Declaring the forum open, the Speaker, Right Honorable Oludaisi Lemide, described the bill as strategically important to the state's sustainable development agenda. According to the Speaker, the proposed legislation is of strategic importance to the sustainable development agenda of Ogun State.
It is designed to provide robust institutional framework for the acquisition, allocation, and management of agricultural land. The overreaching objective is to ensure that agricultural investments in our state are transparent, inclusive, sustainable, and beneficial to all stakeholders, particularly host communities, farmers, and investors.
Also speaking, the sponsor of the bill, Honorable Waliu Owode, said the bill was designed to promote transparency, inclusiveness, sustainability, and equity in agricultural land administration, as well as encourage responsible investment that would enhance food security, create employment, and stimulate economic growth, adding that the forum was meant to provide a platform for stakeholders to contribute expert insight towards strengthening the legislation.
The Assembly recognizes that effective legislation is best achieved through broad consultation and active stakeholder participation.
In his closing remarks, Honorable Lukman Adeleye assured the stakeholders that all inputs submitted at the forum will be carefully reviewed and harmonized to produce a bill that will reflect collective aspiration, promote investors' confidence, protect host communities, and deliver a framework all stakeholders will be proud of.
The management team of the State Ministry of Forestry, led by Engineer Taiwo Oludoton, for achieving over 85% in its revenue performance in the outgoing year, while charging it to surpass the achievement in the next fiscal year to boost the state economy through innovative and proactive revenue-generating initiatives. The member of the House Committee, led by Honorable Mushafiu Lamidi, gave the commendation while taking on the ministry during the ongoing 2026 budget defense at the Assembly Complex Okimosan Abeokuta. The lawmakers also applauded the ministry for reviving the moribund forest reserves at Ojaodon through public-private partnerships with focus on sustainable tree utilization and reforestation. Kolawole Osho was there. His report is presented in this package.
Defending the ministry's 2.751 billion naira 2026 budget proposal, the Commissioner for Forestry, Engineer Oludotun Taiwo, attributed the 2025 revenue performance to timber sales, grant rents, and land leases to private investors. He disclosed that the ministry leased 2,000 hectares of forest land at Ojaodon to a Chinese firm, which reactivated the reserve, generated revenue, and created jobs for citizens in the host communities. Engineer Oludotun also assured the state lawmakers of sustained efforts towards the restoration, protection, and sustainable management of forest resources across the state. Other agencies and institutions that had their project proposals considered by the state lawmakers included the State Forestry Plantation, Project Area J4, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, the State Teaching Service Commission, DS Adegbero ICT Polytechnic, its Ijebu-Igbo counterpart, the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, alongside the Local Government Service Commission, amongst others.